asking this corny question to every coach. Oftentimes when the guys come to USC, we ask, how do you know you made the right decision? And kind of asking you the same question. How do you know you made the right decision coming here to USC?
I think probably just people that we work with every single day. I mean, it's been really good 8 months getting to know a lot of people that I didn't know before, on our staff, and I've done some dinners and things as a staff where you really just get to feel like, man, we're getting really close. And I mean, obviously I knew Coach Riley before we got here, and my wife is working here too, so that was a no-brainer for us. But the more we've got to get around some of these people, I mean, Coach did a tremendous job putting together staff. So really just quality people, but really good coaches too. And so I think that's reaffirming every single day when you come in and you love the people you work with. We love the kids on this team too. I think we have a great team. Guys that are selfless and really work hard and want to be great. And I mean, shoot, man, you can't ask for anything more than that.
We'll talk about also the room.
Yep.
What do you look? What should we expect to see from your guys this upcoming season?
I think number one, the thing we're pushing really hard in our room is we got to earn our spot at the table. We got a lot of really good receivers on our team, and so we know we got our work cut out for us. I mean, we got the Bolitnikoff winner on our team. We got a lot of other guys in that room that are really good, and they're all going to be competing, and so we're battling for our spot at the table, and so amping up the aggressiveness and. In a good way, not fighting and stuff like that, but really just attacking every single day and having a little more pop to us and bringing energy and great effort and finishing blocks and doing all the little things it takes to be a great tight end.
Somebody that we've kind of forgotten about, who's been here for a while, is Josh Follow. How do you see him fitting in with the season in the offense?
It's hard to say. I've never been on the field with him in pads, so I love what Josh brings to the game mentally. How he attacks things in the film room. We've been in some walkthroughs and run-throughs together and things, and I've seen him lift and run and do all those things. So I'm excited about him. I think he's a big, strong kid that can run and appears to have really good ball skills and those things. So looking forward to kind of getting in the fire with him a little bit and seeing how things progress throughout camp.
How long have you been familiar with Riley's offense? Because everybody I talk to, whether it's somebody that you guys are recruiting or it's somebody who's just been on the team prior or guys that followed Lincoln Riley here, they just talk about just being an offense that they just love playing in. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm assuming that you love coaching it too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think I always watched Lincoln's offenses even when he was at East Carolina because he was one of the top offenses in the country. Mm-hmm. So obviously you try to watch and emulate and things. And but really the first time I dove into it would have been 2019 when I worked there as an analyst. My wife worked there for a couple of years before I did, so I was able to kind of be around and really see. But that year in 2019 was my opportunity to really study and learn and grow and ask him questions specifically as I was learning it. So it is a great offense. It's so balanced in so many ways. But I think Coach's biggest plus is that he understands you have to play around your players, and that offense forms around those players. Mm-hmm. So. And all those offenses at OU and even here, Caleb's going to do different things than Miller is, and what puts them in the most successful situation.
Not only did Lincoln bring in a talented group of coaches, you guys also get after it on the recruiting trail and evaluating and so on. When you're watching film, what are things that stand out to you and when you know that that's a guy I want to pursue or at least see more of?
I think in this offense you have to be able to make plays out in space, and make people miss. And I think that's one thing when I'm evaluating a tight end is he making people miss in space? Is he running through tackles? Is he juking people out? Obviously there's a million different things we could talk about, but I think those are two big things, specifically just knowing what coach kind of wants to do with this position. And then there's a lot of other things that go along with it. Obviously, conversation, seeing how intelligent the kid is, how well he picks up on things, and because like I said a bunch of times, there's a lot of feel to my position in my room, and you have to have a really sharp guy to do that.
Do you see yourself going after that dual athlete type of guy, a basketball player maybe?
I love dual athletes. Yeah, absolutely. I think multi-sport kids, I encourage guys all the time to go get in multi-sports. I think they all develop different skill sets, but they can all like play into each sport too. So I was a multi-sport athlete. I definitely promote that within guys for sure.
So last year's team, obviously you weren't here, but the red zone was a major issue. And Jude, during spring, kind of talked about the fact that he thought that was a place where the tight ends could be difference makers. How much of that is kind of, without giving things away, how much of that is kind of in the plan, and how much of that is a priority for you guys?
Yeah, I think every tight ends coach will want the ball down in the red zone, and every tight end. So it definitely is. I mean, that area needs to be an area where we can excel, primarily in the pass game, just because we're big targets, and we can get down there and throw the ball up and go up and make a play. It doesn't have to be a perfect scheme. And sometimes it just comes down to being man-on-man, and I got to beat that guy. And so trying to instill that in our guys every day, especially when we get down in that area, I kind of turn to them and, just kind of give them the nod, like, we got to go make this happen right now. And so that's obviously a big emphasis for us every day.
Malcolm talked about kind of explicitly nobody in the tight end room cares about the stats anymore. And that was a change. That was kind of an improvement in the culture of the team. How real is that across the team? Kind of in your observations, when you take the big picture and where this group is in terms of being focused in that way?
Yeah, I think it's 100% across the board on our team. Obviously, there's stats that matter, turnover margin and things like that. So controlling those, but not necessarily how many touches did I get this game, or how many yards did I have, or how many touchdowns did I have. They're worried more about did we win the game? Did we do what it took in order to win that game? And if I didn't have a great game, I got to go out and work harder to get better. And so, like you said, I mean, coming back to our culture, that's something we're trying to instill in all these guys where, it might not be our best game and we'll get all that corrected. But as long as we come out with the W, that's really what we're looking for.
I'd hate to say the culture was broken out here when you got out here, but was it a big fix for you?
I think it all comes down to just working at it every single day, honestly. I think we have a lot of really good kids on this team that were carryover from the last staff. And we have a lot of good friends on the last staff. They're good coaches, and so I think it's just sometimes you just need to change. And, but you definitely have to work at the culture of your team, and us included, coaches included in that. You come and attack the thing, you attack every single day with great energy and positivity, or you don't, and so trying to lead by example with our guys, and then expecting that from them as well, and then every single day just attacking and working at that is kind of what we've done.
There's a lot of feedback about there's a sense of urgency to win right away. And I hear that from the guys you're recruiting, you hear that from the guys on the team. How do you as coaches go about presenting that message? Is that like a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, we're all here to win.
Yeah.
Nobody's here. Nobody came here, or whether you were here before or you're new here. Nobody came here to solely transition into being a conference champion. And so our expectation is always greatness, and that's never going to change. So, of course, we all, everybody on this team is a great competitor, so they're going to walk in the door and say, we're going to go win the conference championship. And that's everybody's attitude here. So, and it's not about anybody else but ourselves. Like, we control our own destiny. We know how hard we can work, and as long as we give everything we've got, that's all we can ask, and so having that expectation for our team, we'd hope that they would have that expectation for themselves.
How do you control that energy so it doesn't take over? Because, as Scott was mentioning, when you talk to the players, they just want to win. I mean, we want to win. And so how do you keep them in the moment so they're not looking ahead at the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think just attacking things one day at a time, first off, and trying to build that mentality into everything we're doing. Don't worry about this upcoming week. Let's worry about what we can control today. Ultimately, just keeping the focus on getting better every single day fundamentally, and all the little things that add up to make a great team, and so we've tried to kind of compartmentalize, I guess, a little bit things at times, and it just help our guys stay locked in to getting better at this one thing today, and then you grow and you build off that in the next day. and then hopefully that kind of carries over throughout the season.
What's the transition like going from coaching offensive line to coaching tight ends? How different are they to coach since you also have the receiving element?
Yeah, they're different. You know, there is the receiving element of it for sure. Just a little bit different personality in the room, I think, a lot of times too. There's some similarities and some differences, but you know, at the end of the day, it's coaching ball. So I love getting in the room with guys. That's my favorite part of coaching, and you know, building all those different relationships and learning how different guys learn and all those things. And you really have to be a chameleon with each guy. You got to learn how to adapt to them, and because ultimately we're here to serve our players. I mean, that's what we're here to do. And you know, just build great relationships with them, get them to trust us and love us like we trust them and love them, and great things will happen.
From an on-field coaching perspective, was there extra, like, going back and looking into all of the more of the receiving side, or was it just you learned so much by being around other coaches that wasn't quite as necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I coached the tight ends at Kansas State a few years back, so there was some going back, and you kind of have to gear your mind back. Okay, I'm not talking about just the blocking aspect of it now. But, you know, again, it was kind of coming into not a new offense, but there's tweaks and changes that have happened since I was in it. So, you know, we all kind of learned the offense throughout the off season and all that through Coach Riley. And so it's really a good opportunity just to learn and grow again. But, you know, the basic fundamentals and all those things, I went back and pulled out my old tapes and all that stuff and got those fired back up. So I really love coaching the tight ends. It's a great group. You kind of get to be a part of everything, the run game and the pass game. So, and you know, most of the time tight ends are great kids and ones that are overachievers and want to work hard. So they're fun ones to coach.
On a personal level, outside of football, what's your favorite thing about living here in Southern California now?
Man, the weather is awesome. My family lives in Northern California, so being close to them is important as well. But really just spending time with my wife in the nice weather and being close to the beach and all those things. It's a fun place.
And we saw your anniversary tweet. It was really nice.
Yeah. It was July 16th. 6 years.
Congratulations.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.